aggressive too?
Yes.
Yeah? Oh, that was a resounding yes. Okay. Has anybody at this table ever been aggressive? If you have, I want you to raise your hand. Is that every single one of us, including me?
These students at Austin's Garcia Middle School admit they've made some bad choices. But in this classroom, they get to assess their actions.
He tried to stab me, and he did.
With the pencil?
Mm-hmm. So I hit him in his head. But then I realized what I did, and I was like, so I just tried to stay away from him.
Some Texas school districts are turning to outside experts specially trained to help students who can't control their anger. This counselor with the Council on At-Risk Youth, or CARY, is teaching students the difference between passive, aggressive, and assertive responses to conflict.
He was using assertive and aggressive at the same time.
It's a lesson that can keep them out of trouble now and in the future.
When I got into the program, they taught me ways to handle the situation in a more mature way.
This boy, he was kept on bothering me, trying to get me to fight him. I walked away and I counted to 10.
Through group sessions and role-playing, students are learning how to control their tempers.
Please leave me alone, please.
Why? Why?
I will tell the teacher.
So is it better to stay calm in this kind of situation or to get mad?
Stay calm.
Stay calm.
Why?
Because once you start getting aggressive, it can escalate into things that you don't want to escalate into.
The school's principal, Dr. Helen Johnson, sees the counseling sessions as transforming for individuals and a benefit to the entire school.
An administrator can always do discipline, but we want to change the behavior. So if you want to change the behavior, oftentimes it requires counseling to help children just to analyze what that problem is. And within a few weeks, you can see a tremendous growth and difference.
Miss Sally is a very good teacher of the program. I've had a lot of altercations, and she's helped me with those altercations and all that.
Honestly, I think that if it wasn't for the CARE program, I don't know where I would be right now. It definitely showed me ways to be more approachable, not aggressive, and I think that that'll take me a long way in the future.
In 2006, Luling ISD was facing a conduct crisis.
We had 26% of our students were being removed from the classroom from direct instruction, which is a high number. That's in junior high and high school. This is, so we reached out and decided we've got to do something.
The Luling School District contracted with CARY to help students avoid antisocial behavior and to prevent bullying. The impact was immediate. Today, Luling ISD has been able to cut the number of students removed from class by more than half. However, the state grant that's paying for this program is going away.
These are declining grants. They decline 20% each year.
In major Texas cities like Houston, schools also report having success with violence intervention programs. HISD's superintendent wishes there was more grant money available for intervention.
We very closely monitor those opportunities, and more opportunities coming from state government would be a great benefit to the students.
Representative Jerry Madden is also convinced programs can keep at-risk children from committing their first act of violence. As chairman of the House Corrections Committee, Madden sponsored bills in the 2007 and 2009 sessions to allocate more funding for Texas schools to start violence intervention programs.
Can you solve it 100% for every child in the state of Texas? I think the answer is probably no. I think that we can do a lot more than we've been doing, and that's what we're trying to do.
Madden's intervention bills failed in both sessions. Many other lawmakers didn't see funding those programs as a top priority. But if violence intervention is successful, it can actually save taxpayers money. The annual costs to keep someone in a county jail, state prison, or TYC facility are staggering when compared to the relatively small investment we could make in intervention. The annual cost for a program like CARY? Only $600. Of course, housing offenders is not the only way crime costs us money.
Every juvenile delinquent who becomes a habitual adult criminal will cost us between $1 and $3 million in their lifetime.
That's taking into account the cost of law enforcement, the criminal justice system, courts, public defenders, probation, and parole. Then there's the loss of tax revenue and child support.
And that doesn't include the human toll and the misery for their families and their victims' families.
Students, as individuals within life, best are served when it's holistic, when there are interventions where intervention needs to happen, where there are mentorships when mentorships need to happen, where there's extra time with individuals who may need tutoring or some special attention.
For every kid that we lose to the criminal justice system, for every kid that we lose that turns to violence, there is an effect that impacts all of us because none of us live on an island.
If our communities speak up and encourage our schools, our cities, our state to look at how we're disciplining schools, to look at what's happening with our dropouts, look what's happening in our criminal justice system and say, let's change our approach. Let's use a different approach. We think we can see real positive change.
The Rotary Clubs of Houston and Austin believe the choice is clear, and the time to help children avoid violence is now.
What are you going to do about it?